Okay, I just turned it off and try again. See if tell me if the one pops up now.
Okay, something's just come up. 14.
Well, why didn't the first one work? Oh, which means it probably flattened the battery on my camera.
Okay, it's just come up, yeah.
Is it just come up now, is it?
I can see you just saying I'll try again.
Alright, is the sound working?
Yep.
Alright, sorry guys. I thought I was on live, and Stephen just rang me up and said that it's not working. I've been chatting away for about half hour to 45 minutes. All indications showing that it was working here, but it wasn't working. So there we are, we're getting some messages coming through now.
I'll hang up then, mate.
Yep, alright, thanks for that. Thanks for letting me know.
No worries.
I would have been sitting here wondering what's going on. Okay guys, right, take 3, take 4, take 5,000, whatever, I've got no idea. I'm having some issues trying to get a live feed out today. Oh, it's pulling out what hair I've got left. Alright, so Paul from PowerPool Australia came over this morning, and he's dropped off 2 of his lithium batteries. The one right here, actually, you cannot see it. There we go. One right here, sitting next to the iTech World battery. This is the Scout, which is the most popular one that he's selling. He's selling 4 of these to one of his Mercuries. And a lot of that's to do with the price, because the Mercuries cost a little bit more, but I'll explain to you very quickly why. Now, I did a really comprehensive video with Paul. We went through all the nitty gritty, all the tests, exactly what's inside, what's the difference between the Scout and the Mercury, which right now I've got the Mercury inside the vehicle. So now, when we first got here, we ran some tests on the iTech World battery to monitor the voltages at certain loads. We did the same with this one, the Scout, and we did the same with the Mercury. The Mercury is the last one we worked at, so it's in my vehicle now. I'm going to be testing this a bit inside my vehicle here over the next 3 or 4 weeks. Now, these batteries are not mine, they're not given to me. Paul's basically given me a loan of these for the tests, so which means that possibly in the very near future, very soon, that these 2 batteries, or maybe one of them, I'm going to hope for, guys, I'm going to try my best to see if I can purchase one of them. But to be frank, guys, I don't think I'm going to have the money up front. Now, Paul did say I can have these at a reduced price for what they normally sell for, but even at that, guys, even at that funds, I don't think I'm going to have the funds in time. So basically, I'll need enough funds within the next 4 weeks to purchase one of these batteries. If I don't, well then one or both of them will be going up for sale for anyone in the local area to be able to come and pick them up. But that's going to be all arranged. You have to do that through Paul. That's got to be all arranged through Paul. When the time comes, he'll let you know. He'll post it on his PowerPool Australia. I won't post anything about that, so keep an eye out on there. So at least one of these will come up for sale. Most likely probably both, unfortunately. It's going to be a real pain in the rear end, to be honest, guys, because I mean, think about it. I'm jumping up from 100 amp hour up to a 330 amp hour. I've got 330 amp hour battery sitting here. If I'm going to buy one or the other, I'm going to stick with the 330 amp hour because it's already in the car, it's already mounted here, it's already connected. So if one goes up for sale, probably most likely will be the Scout, or I don't know, if somehow I can manage to lift that up, take it out, won't be an issue, but for my back, it's going to be a little bit too heavy for me back. But this one, the Scout, weighs 25 kilos, and this one here, the Mercury, not much more. I think it's about 28 kilos if I remember right, but don't vouch on me. I can certainly remember that one, 25 kilos. But you'll have to check when I edit the video that we filmed this morning. And we're talking to Paul, he's on camera, going right through. And I also filmed some of the tests, well, all the tests that we were doing. And it's also all being recorded through my Turbo GX here. So there'll be graphs to show you the difference in voltages in loads between one and another. Now this one, the Mercury 330, guys, is got similar cells to what the Victron Energy 12 volt 330 amp hour battery, valued at $5,700. I kid you not, guys, $5,700, $5,700, and it's got no BMS with it. So you have to go and spend an extra $200-300, way up to $1,700 for the top BMS to put into that Victron 330 amp hour battery. It's worth $5,700. So potentially you could spend as much as over $7,300 just for that battery, which is going to give very similar results, exactly the same results, same specs, everything, as what's sitting right here for a fraction of that cost, for less than half the price, basically, well under half the price. So if you want to know the latest pricing, just go to PowerPool Australia on their Facebook page. So now he's working on his own website, so he will have his own website up soon. So keep an eye out for that. Am I overexposed, guys? It just looks a bit bright in the image here. Okay, is that a bit better? That should be a bit better. Just looked like it might have been overexposed. So it's going to be a real bummer, guys, to have access using this 330 amp hour battery in here, and then most likely within the next 4 weeks probably going to have to remove it and put this fella back in. I don't want to do it, but what can I do, guys? If I don't have the funds to purchase this, yeah, so yeah, I've only had the battery for basic 6-7 hours. I don't know what's the time. Well, he turned up about 9 o'clock. So yeah, I was spot on, 6-7 hours, and I'm already loving it. You should have seen the loads we were pushing out on this, and the temperature of the terminal, how much cooler it is over what the iTech World battery is quite a vast difference, guys. And I've also noticed with the Mercury battery, it runs more efficient than any of these two batteries here, so it loses less voltages. Not a great deal, but if you've got like a 3000 watt inverter, it's going to make a bit of difference. So it's a lot more efficient, so it produces energy more efficient than what either these two batteries does, particularly the iTech World. Not a lot of difference with the Scout. Now the Scout's the most popular one for the price, and it's an excellent battery, guys. Excellent battery, no problems with this battery. Easily continuous 250 amp discharge, no problems at all. So you got your, these are ideal for your caravans, etc. Not just for 4x4 drive, but caravans as well. Lots of safety features built into it. You can run your air cons off them, no problems whatsoever. Because, to be frank, guys, I've been getting a lot of messages of late. What battery do you recommend? What battery, you know, are you going to change to? When are you going to get the PowerPool batteries to try out? So the day has come. It's finally come, and that day is today. I'm going to see what I can do. Keep this one in place here, guys, If I can afford it, I'm going to try my best. Because to be honest, I don't want to go back to a 100 amp hour battery after seeing the difference. But this is, it's a bit overcast here. That's getting a bit dark, isn't it? Let me brighten that up a bit. Is that better? Hopefully that's a lot better. So yeah, we'll see, eh? I'm going to try my best to see if I can keep this battery in here. Otherwise, one of you lucky buggers out there, particularly if you're living in the Bundy area, may have a chance to purchase it very soon, within 4 weeks by the looks of it. So we'll see what happens, eh? And yeah, now basically, I mean, I could go camping 3-4 days and not worry about having to bring a solar panel. I've got a solar panel out right now. It's not producing much because it's amazing just how dark. I've just got to make sure there's no storm coming or anything, because it's just gotten really dark all of a sudden. My 250 watt solar panel's only putting out about 15 watts. It gives you an idea how dark it is. Again, it is nearly 325. So the battery's now at 94% charge. But we did give it a good load test. Now my Victron Multi Plus, the sun's just come out. Let me just dial this down a bit so it's not so bright. My Multi Plus, Victron Multi Plus, is a 2000 VA, which is a 1600 watt inverter built into it, and it's got an 80 amp charger in it. So I've already gone into the configurations and boosted it up to 80 amps. But you can charge these at well over 100 amps continuous, no problems at all. You can really power the loads in these. But the maximum charge rate of the MultiPlus 2000 VA Compact is 80 amps. I originally had it set at 50 because that's the maximum safely you can charge this battery here, the iTech World. So for both of these, I've set it at 80. But I can also, if I take a solar panel with me, I can boost that up with the solar panel as well. So I could potentially carry 2 solar panels. I've got 2 portable solar panels. I've got the Safari 250 watt high voltage solar panel, which will connect through the Victron MPPT 100/50 solar regulator. And I've got the 300 watt Kickars solar panel that Kickars gave to me a year ago. So I'm going to get that out and use that more often now. And that one there, I plug into this. You see another, oh, you probably can't see it, but just to the left of the power points here, there is another Anderson plug there just sticking out the side. And that's for the MPPT on the RedArc 50 amp DC-DC charger I got on there. So I can run the 300 watt solar panel through the RedArc, which will give me 550 watts additional on top of, like, let's say for example, I'm going somewhere that's remote, guys. Just let me, I'll check the messages shortly. Very bright today. Do I look cool? Hey, do I look cool, guys? Hey, do you like me sunnies? I've had these sunnies for years, and they're absolutely awesome. I don't wear them as much now because they're not, because when I wear them it makes the vision a bit blurry. So as I get older I need to use glasses. So, but they're a lot better than the real bright sunlight here. I forgot what I was saying. What we were talking about. MultiPlus, was it? Oh geez guys, I shouldn't have gone off track. I forgot what I was talking about. I think, let me have a drink while I was doing that. And yeah, so tell you what, it's going to be a killer of a day. It's going to be a shit day the day when it comes, so I'm most likely going to have to take that out and put this thing back. When I mean this thing, take that out and put this back in its place. I hope that day doesn't come, but I have no idea how I'm ever going to afford to spend that sort of money on that one there. Talking about solar panels. Thanks, Steve. You're a lifesaver. Yes. So that's right. So if I go out somewhere camping remote and there's no one around, well then it's likely I will bring, it'd be cool to bring both solar panels and my Honda generator. So then that way, when I go to camp, you know, I could probably run this for 2-3 days before I need to charge it. Or if it's overcast for 3-4 days or whatever, well then I can grab my little Honda, run it so it'll charge it. I've got to test it to see what sort of revs it sits on when I'm charging at 80 amps. Charge it at 80 amps and then have the, particularly if the sun out, I can have both solar panels out. That'll probably add an extra, I don't know what, 30 amps probably, maybe 30 amps on top of that. So then it'll charge at 110 amps. So it'll charge it in no time whatever. And then once it's fully charged, put all them away and not worry it again for another 3 days or so, depending what sort of load I put on it. Now, my Multiplus 2000 VA rated at 1600 watts. Guys, I was putting nearly 3,400 watt loads through it. And it ran for quite some time before it came up with a warning, and then eventually it shut down. And that's a beauty, it shut down on itself. And that's a beauty. When you're getting good quality components like these, with all the safety features built into it, that if you overload it, it give you a warning, and then if you really overload it, then the Multiplus will shut down. But what it doesn't just shut down and stay shut down. After it shuts down, it goes through a cycle, testing cycle, to make sure everything is fine. So it can last, you know, 10-20 seconds or whatever before it'll actually turn back on. And then once it's past the cycle, bang, you'll hear the relay kick in, you'll hear ting, bang, and then the relay kicks in, and then it's back on. And that's what happened. Now that was a fairly regular process that happened quite a fair bit when I was using the iTech World battery with just a load of 1700 watts. But I was running a 3400 watt load through that. The battery, guys, the battery was still recording about 12.6, 12.7 volts. So, whereas with the iTech World, with just a load of about 1500 watts, thereabouts, the battery was down to about 12.1, 12.2, which meant the battery then had to do more work to generate the same power as what these two batteries does. The Mercury of all three is the most efficient, which is understandable because of the cell, the technology that's in there. Now that's the only difference, apart from this is 280 amp and this is 330 amps, and as I mentioned before, guys, you will get 280 amps, okay? Not like this one, not like this orange one here. When I bought it, I thought I was buying a 120 amp hour battery, but I didn't realize at the time that these are not 120 amp hour batteries, although they are advertised as a 120 amp hour battery even to this day. I have no idea how they get away with it, but they're advertised as a 120 amp hour battery, but they're only about a 100 amp hour battery. Some people get 95, some people getting 105 out of them. Some people are weighing them, they're over 11 kilos. Other people, they're under 10 kilos. Paul bought one of these recently and it was less than 10 kilos. We weighed this today and it was 11.5 kilos. So why is there discrepancy in weight? Why is there difference in weights? Okay, this one was purchased just over a year ago. Paul was purchased around four weeks ago or so, which is interesting. Now all these batteries are all similar in weight. So for you guys have been asking me what battery I will go for, you'll probably remember for quite some time I was considering actually building my own battery. And to be honest guys, if it's going to build a battery, it will end up similar to this one here, the Scout. Very similar. So let me see if I can get you, let me make some room here and see if I can get you to have a better look, at least at the Scout battery. Now these Scout batteries, you can actually mount them like this as well. So let me move this camera back a bit. Okay, can you see that? So you can actually mount these upright like this. Okay, you can mount it laying on the side as well. Just can't mount it upside down the other way around. Now this is one of the tips that you're going to learn when I edit the video that I did with Paul. So I interviewed Paul and we went right in depth on these batteries that he makes. So this is a tip that he suggests. If you need to mount it upright, make sure you mount it as you see like this, because the BMS is located right here, so you don't want anything heavy on top of the BMS, just in case, you know, you just never know. I mean, you've got 25 kilos sitting here, so you just don't want to put that excess weight on top of the BMS itself. And you can see the terminals are all on one end, which I'm a great fan of. If you're wondering what this is, that's not an on-off for the battery, it has to do with the BMS. That's basically to turn the Bluetooth on and off of the BMS. So what happens is, if you don't use the battery for a certain period, the Bluetooth will switch off. But if I click on that, the Bluetooth will come up, it'll turn back on. Otherwise, if I put a load on it, it'll turn on automatically. So it's designed to be very simple. So extremely simple guys, there's really not much you can do. And it also gives you a rough indication of the state of charge of the battery. Now you also obviously get the Bluetooth, which I'll show you the Bluetooth app. And in the video that I'm talking with Paul, we actually go over in detail on the Bluetooth, how to use, how to set up, etc. So I'm just going to connect. So here we go guys. So it says we're 93.7 and we're 94% there. So that's pretty accurate. Currently no load. Over here it's saying 0.3 of an amp load. So it's accurate to within 1 or 2%, the Bluetooth on this, from what we see so far. But this is going to be an ongoing research on this to check to see the difference on the Bluetooth app to what you see there. So I'll let you have a bit of a look at that, see if that will that focus. There we go. So that's focusing. So as you see there guys, gives you the state of charge. Alright, the voltage 13.3, the amperage. I'm running a fridge at the moment. The only thing that's running is just the fridge. But there we go, the fridge has just come on, so it gives you an indication. One amp there, just briefly ran there. But I've also got the solar panel out, so the solar panel will be combating Now look, it's got the individual maximum, low voltage, the percentage out, but guys, I'll go in details, in more details with this later on in the video. You'll learn more about that in the interview with PowerPaul. So let me see any comments here. Looking beautiful. How cool is that? Have we got many people watching? So concurrent viewers 10. Is that 76 views so far? I don't know. Is this accurate? Yep, seems to be. You're looking beautiful. So alright, see those questions here. Anthony Wick says it's working this time. I hope I'm in the right. Okay, I'll just put a comment here. Hi guys, if you can let me know if you actually see this comment, just to make sure I'm in the right chat area here, because I've been having trouble picking the chat up on this, because I've got no one asking any questions here. So let me know. I like the Bluetooth connectivity. Yeah, beauty. Okay, thanks for that, Steve. That's indicating to me that it actually is working. Yeah, well, you know my thoughts on that, how I always love to, I wish I always had a Bluetooth where you can actually, a BMS where you can actually go into and see what the connection is, the status on it. Because I think that's pretty important to do. And of course the Bluetooth itself is free. It's called Smart BMS, and I'm just opening it up now, just clicking on it. So, and then if I go into, where is it, perimeter and active balance, hang on, just seeing if I can find, here it is. So battery settings, so it's 4 individual cells that makes up the battery. Hang on, just going to try to focus on that. So you can see the voltage of each cell, and I think that's, oh, you could probably see my battery serial number there. I don't think that makes any difference anyway, whether you know that or not. So you can see the voltages of the batteries are all within 0.002 volts, and it's gone through 3 cycles so far, because every time, and it's showing the current minus 1.2. I might actually, yeah, the solar panel is still going. It's putting in 73 watts at the moment. I've got my solar panel just sitting flat on the ground on the bitumen, so it'll be pretty hot. It is hard as well, but it'll be hot. Now the mercury, it's very similar, except where it's blue, all this blue, it's red. And of course where it says Scout 280, it's got Mercury 330 version 3. So this is a version 3 of these batteries, guys. Let me just scroll this camera down a bit so you can see this. Is that better? So that's version 3 of the battery. Okay, if you want to get in close there, you might be able to see it a lot better now. It's got all the setup parameters here. You also get instructions with how to use the battery as well. So there's a set of instructions here, 2 pages of instructions. I haven't had a chance . So we momentarily lost connection there. So you guys are using the real big 3000 watt inverters, etc. You might notice get instructions. How cool is that? Now my signal's getting a bit weak here, so hang on, we've got a message here. Signal's breaking up. Yeah guys, let me move the phone, the vehicle a bit. The signal's there. Alright guys, the signal's gone on the blank here, so yeah, breaking up bad. Yeah, I'm getting indications that that's happening here as well. So we might call it at that, eh? Let me just scroll this up a bit. Yeah. So I'll Alright. Okay. Got a very weak signal. Got problems connecting. What can I do? Where can I put the phone? I'll put it there. Alright, so good signal now. Alright. Oh, before it locks out again, let's see if how long it'll last. If anyone's got any questions, as I mentioned, these are just loaners for the test, these two batteries. I don't know if I'm going to be able to almost died out a day or so here where I live. Been on long enough, and new phone nearer the camera. I know it is close. It's only like a foot away. That's not the problem. The problem's not the connection between the phone connecting to connecting to the phone. The problem is that I'm only getting about 2 bars of 5G at best. And I tried connecting to the Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi is 2 signal here where I probably should have got closer to the house at the back there. Then I could have got my network cable and plugged directly from my router to the network cable into my camera recorder here, and hopefully I think I would have had a much stable connection. But I just find that in general with the iPhone that it picks up a weaker signal than what my Galaxy phone does. And now the iPhone, I won't have it for much longer. I'm going to be selling it, and the Galaxy, it picks up 5. Guys, just cut out. Only got 2 bars. So guys, but unfortunately I'm going to connect 80 amps charge rate. I reckon that's going to be awesome to be able to charge this battery at 80 amps. So I better enjoy it.